All right, let's dive into a really intense story from the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata. It's all about impossible choices, a whole lot of power, and it all comes down to a single desperate lie.
I mean, just listen to that. Can you imagine hearing those words from your own mother? This one line is the key to the whole story. It's not just a threat, it's a promise of total destruction. And it forces a choice where, honestly, every single path looks like a dead end. So, where did this terrifying threat even come from? Well, it didn't just pop out of nowhere. It all kicked off with what seemed like a simple bet. But as you're about to see, in this world, nothing is ever simple. Okay, so let's meet our main players. We've got two sisters, Kadru and Vinata. They're both incredibly powerful, and they've made a wager. And to settle it, they are literally flying across the great ocean where the loser becomes the winner's slave for life. The stakes could not be higher. And get this, what is this life or death, freedom or slavery bet all about? The color of a horse's tail. Seriously. It's a divine horse, Uchchaisravas, but still, one sister says its tail is pure white, the other is convinced it has black hairs. It sounds so trivial, right? But everything hangs in the balance on this one little detail. So, to win this bet and, enslave her own sister, one of these mothers is about to ask something absolutely unthinkable of her children. And who are these children? Well, they're the Nagas. Think of them as a race of powerful, divine serpent beings. And their mother? None other than Kadru, one of the two sisters who made that bet.
So Kadru, realizing she's probably going to lose this bet, goes to her sons, the Nagas, with this command. She's not asking them to go find evidence or something. No, she's ordering them to become the evidence. She wants them to cheat, to make sure she wins through a flat-out lie. Now, you might be wondering, why on earth would they even consider this? Well, it's because this demand is coming right after she already placed this horrible curse on them. Their lives are already hanging by a thread because of her anger. So this new command, it's a test for sure, but it's also maybe their only shot at getting back in her good graces.
So the Nagas are trapped. I mean, completely and totally caught between doing the right thing and facing their mother's, apocalyptic rage. This is the serpent's dilemma.
Let's just break this down, because it is horrifying. On one hand, they can obey her. That means committing fraud to help enslave their own aunt. But maybe, just maybe, their mother will finally lift that curse. On the other hand, they can disobey, do the right thing, and face being burned to a crisp by their own mom.
It's just a terrifying choice, isn't it? Your own morals versus your actual survival. Put yourself in their shoes for a second. What would you do?
Well, after talking it over, the fear of being literally burned alive, it's just too much. The Nagas make their choice, and they come up with a really, really clever plan to do exactly what their mother ordered.
So, yeah, at the end of the day, they choose to live. They all huddle up, talk it through, and agree that the risk of saying no to their mother is just way too high. They're going to go through with the deception. And their plan is actually pretty brilliant in a sneaky way. First, they all agree, a united front born out of pure fear. Second, they make a vow, saying out loud, "We will make the horse's tail black," to really seal the deal. And finally, the magic part. They will literally transform themselves into black hairs and attach to the horse's tail. They're going to create the lie that wins their mother's bet.
So, with the Nagas' plan secretly kicking into gear, let's jump back to the two sisters, Kadru and Vinata. They're flying across the ocean, totally oblivious to the deception that's already underway.
And you got to picture the scene. The mood is actually pretty good. The text says they flew in some delight, all excited to get to the other side and finally figure out who won. They have no idea what's really going on. And as they're flying, they look down and the view is just beautiful. The ocean is calm, it's wonderful, it's even described as fragrant. For a brief moment, it feels like this is just a pleasant trip between two friendly rivals. But then, just like that peaceful illusion is shattered. The wind suddenly kicks up, and it whips that calm ocean into a roaring, angry mess. It's like the world outside is starting to reflect the ugly deception that's churning just beneath the surface of their little bed. And that's where we'll leave it for now. The Nagas, they made a choice, right? But they had a fire to their backs, literally. And it really forces you to ask a pretty timeless question.
When someone forces your hand with that kind of overwhelming power, is the choice you make really a choice at all?